All right, guys, Bitcoin continuing to show some weakness. I think we were down to like $65,000 just yesterday. So overall, your alt's getting hammered. Bitcoin been pulling back since we hit that 73,000. Like I said, this I've been saying in my videos, this stuff is par for the course. Nothing to see here. Will we go under 60,000? I don't know. I'd say there's like maybe like a 50-50 shot we go under 60,000. And I think the next catalyst, like I said, is the halving, and then we'll kind of pump up from there. But yeah, overall, we're probably going to be in kind of a sideways slash dumpage mode until we get to that happening. And your altcoins, of course, are going to bleed, unless, of course, you're like in Solana, you know. But actually, I'm kind of surprised, you know, because like some of the altcoins are actually holding up somewhat decently. Like if this was a full-fledged bear market, your altcoins would be dropping like 50% by now. What I want to talk about today is, since there's not too much other going on other than this dump, you know, I found these articles about Michael Saylor and how him throwing all this money into Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, selling MicroStrategy stock to buy Bitcoin is basically going to be like make the next bear market even worse. And I've been talking about this for the last 6 months. I think the next bear market is going to be set off by Michael Saylor getting out of the market. You know, a lot of people say, oh, Michael Saylor, he's buying MicroStrategy, he's buying Bitcoin for the next 50 years. He's never going to sell it. Not true, guys. He's going to be selling his Bitcoin most likely within the next 6 months to 12 months. He's going to be getting out at the top. Probably over $100,000 he's going to be buying. I understand he's still buying, but he's going to be selling at some point. Here's an article. MicroStrategy's $2 billion Bitcoin purchase threatens to worsen any downturn, JP Morgan warns. So all these big institutional funds that know their stuff are warning about this. JP Morgan warns that MicroStrategy's Bitcoin purchase may exacerbate any future market downturn. The software company has bought over $2 billion in Bitcoin in the past 6 months and sold bonds to fund the purchases. As you guys know, I was a big holder of MicroStrategy for the last year. I sold most of it at like over 1,300. And, you know, MicroStrategy is one of those companies you got to get out quick. Just like Bitcoin, you got to get out when you're in profits because you could go down and lose almost all of it. And of course, when Bitcoin finally does dump, especially if Michael Saylor is also selling into the dump, your MicroStrategy stock is going to drop 99%, just like a stinky pinky altcoin. So MicroStrategy's $2 billion in Bitcoin purchases over the last 6 months risks exacerbating the hangover of any new downtrend. MicroStrategy's most recent $821 million worth of Bitcoin between February 26th and March 10th on the back of selling $1.2 billion in senior convertible notes at the start of this year. He's selling stock so he can buy Bitcoin. And there's other articles too talking about this, which is interesting. I mean, there's actually many, many articles if you Google MicroStrategy, but here's another one on Yahoo Finance. MicroStrategy's massive debt-fueled Bitcoin purchases could make a future downtrend worse. So they're quoting the JP Morgan article. And I totally agree with this. You know, I've been talking about this, like I said, for the last 6 months, how badly you're going to see MicroStrategy stock crash and the overall Bitcoin market once Michael Saylor starts dumping. You know, Michael Saylor is a smart guy. I was looking at the bio of Michael Saylor. A lot of people think, oh, you know, Michael Saylor, he's in this for humanity. He's going to be buying Bitcoin, holding it forever, passing it down from generation to generations of his family. Well, the guy has no kids. He has no wife. He's in Bitcoin right now for himself to make money. He sees a way, just like all of us, we see a way to make money in Bitcoin. Michael Saylor sees a way to make money in Bitcoin. He's not dumb. He understands the 4-year cycles because he bought a lot of his Bitcoin initially at the highs. He's lived through a crash. You can find the articles 2 years ago when everything was crashing. Michael Saylor looked like he wanted to shoot himself in the head. He was depressed. You know, everybody was making fun of him. Like the guy was like in hiding. Now that Bitcoin's going up, he's looking like a hero, but he's not going to let himself live through another crash. The guy knows what he's doing at this point. He's a smart guy. Looking at his bio right here, went to MIT. So it doesn't get any smarter than that. A lot of smart crypto people went to MIT as well. And Michael Saylor is 100%, we can mark this video, is going to be selling almost all of his Bitcoin as we go into that bear market. So people need to be aware of that. Every time you see Michael Saylor buying, you got to just think in the back of your mind, like, when is he going to sell? In my mind, I think between $100,000 and $150,000, Michael Saylor is going to be dropping 90% of his Bitcoin. He's going to be doing it slow. He's not going to dump it all at once. But once the dust settles and your Bitcoin goes from 150,000 back down to 20,000, and MicroStrategy stock goes down with it, you know, MicroStrategy might hit a high of $2,500 or $2,000. It's going right back down to $150. I hope you guys realize that once we go into a bear market. And when all the dust settles and all the financials get released, because remember, Michael Saylor does not have to announce he sold any Bitcoin until his financials come out. So people are going to be wondering why did Bitcoin dump? Was this bear market like worse than ever? You're going to see Michael Saylor come out with the financials showing he sold 80, 90% of his Bitcoin over a 6-month period going into the bear market. So people need to be aware of that. I could be wrong. Like, I don't know. Maybe the guy's just batshit crazy and he's going to hold his Bitcoin forever. But I'd say there's like over a 95% chance he's dumping everything, and it's going to make this bear market worse. You know, especially if we have like an economical collapse as well. Housing's collapsing, stocks are collapsing, and you have Michael Saylor dumping all of his Bitcoin. I've been in so many stocks over the years that you know have dumped 90, 95%. And really, MicroStrategy stock is no different than any other penny stock. I mean, it's just based off the volatility of Bitcoin. The overall company, MicroStrategy, isn't even all that profitable anymore. They're pretty much a Bitcoin-related stock. You know, if Bitcoin dumps, they dump. If Bitcoin goes up, they dump. And if Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy goes up more than Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin dumps, MicroStrategy dumps more than Bitcoin. So I thought that was interesting that a lot of news articles are starting to talk about this now. And we've been warning about this on this channel for the last 6 months. So be aware of that. Bitcoin going under 60K. I see Rand Nooner is posting on Twitter. He's looking for under $60,000 Bitcoin. So, and I see a lot of other guys as well. Doesn't mean we're gonna get it, but I can tell you guys the sentiment overall in the crypto markets has 100% changed from where it was a few weeks ago. So if we don't pump back up above $73,000, $72,000 sometime next week, I totally wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a $60,000 Bitcoin before the halving. Honestly, it'll probably be healthy. I've been waiting for this dump. I talked about it last week. All the YouTubers shilling meme coins. YouTubers who haven't even been talking about meme coins for the last year were shilling meme coins. The top was in. Meme coins always represent the short-term top. Eventually, meme coins will represent the long-term top as we go into a bear market. But right now, we still have room to go in this bull market. The bull market really hasn't even started because technically, I mean, it has started, but on paper, it really hasn't because bull markets really don't start until after the halving. So got the halving coming up in a couple of weeks. Me personally, I'd like to see a dump back down to $60,000. Then once we get to that halving, have a pump up to like $80,000, $90,000. That's what I would personally like to see, and then level off from there and then kind of see what happens. All right, is there anything else? Not really, guys. I mean, look. We got a dump. It's here. There's really no bad news. Now, also, a lot of these dumps we've had in Bitcoin have happened over the weekend, which means that, you know, during the week, a lot of these ETF funds have people buying in, but of course you can't buy in on the weekend. So there is a very strong possibility that tomorrow morning we go right back up to $70,000. So we could go any which way now. I think you have to be a lunatic if you're shorting. I think you have to be a lunatic if you're longing. All you should be doing right now is looking to buy the dips. And if you just do that, you're going to make out extremely well by the end of the summer. All right, guys, that's it. Like and subscribe. Talk to you later.